Hello again from PoorManSurvival.com. We're here to do another firearms short review for you. So today we're talking about the Ruger LC9. This is in their pocket gun line. There's the LC9, the LCP, and they have a 22 version. LC9, being an LC9, is in 9mm. The LCP would be in 380. I bought this firearm for my wife and kind of became a big fan of it. I like it. I'm getting ready to purchase another one for myself. So let's talk features. This is a Massachusetts compliant firearm. So having said that, it does have the loaded when up indicator on the top, and it does have the extra safety on the side. Having those two features means in Massachusetts you do not have to have the dreaded 10.5 pound trigger. On these pocket guns, a 10.5 pound trigger is a nightmare for accuracy. I fired the bodyguards, Smith & Wesson bodyguards, with a 10.5 pound trigger. I just hate them. One of the reasons I bought this firearm was because of that. So this is just a great gun, especially for the Massachusetts people stuck with our pathetic laws. So it has nice sights, pretty easy to pick up. This is a great carry gun. Not a long range target gun by any means, but it does have plenty of grip to get the job done and get a nice purchase on the weapon. It does have a long trigger pull. So having said that, let's talk trigger. This trigger with the magazine out, as you can see, so this weapon is safety for anybody who's double checking me, is safe, no weapon, no ammo in it. It does not fire without the mag in the well. So, talk mags. This is a 7-round firearm with one, and you can put one in the chamber, obviously. These mags have a removable shoe on the bottom, so for concealment, you can pop that off, put a low profile shoe on the bottom, and it's going to be a lot easier to use for sticking in your pocket. Personally, I carry this in a pocket holster, and I never worry about it. It just really works well. I like to have the extra grip, if you can see my hands there, for purchase in the bottom of the mag well. If you take that out, the other mags, you're kind of wrapping your pinky around the bottom. I prefer the added grip surface. Let's tilt the camera up just a little bit here, as you can see. So, now you have that trigger pull. Now it is a long trigger pull. Let's see if we can click. Which is a downfall of this weapon. But in mass, I'd rather have a long trigger pull than a 10.5 pound trigger pull any day. So there are ways of firming that up. There are ways of crisping up the trigger. But this is a completely bone stock weapon. I'm going to keep it that way. So having said that, let's see. The hammer is in the back. This gun does have a hammer. So this is a single action, double action. And very easy to maneuver, very easy to aim. It really works well. I like them, very light. So we're going to just quickly kind of try to do a comparison here, for width. So this is a standard. This is the old-fashioned, Gen 1 Leatherman. All right. So these are not very wide, and you can see this weapon is not a whole lot wider. These really carry great in your pocket. One of the reasons I bought it for my wife, for carrying in her purse, and it's a great gun. I carry this in a Uncle Mike's size 4 pocket holster. This grip here really holds well to the pocket, so when you reach in and grab the weapon out, it really holds in your pocket well, and I have never had it pull out on me. Having said that, in your pocket, this looks like a large cell phone. I mean, if you have a large wallet, or if you have any of the new smartphones in a OtterBox or in a sturdy case, they're not a whole lot smaller. Granted, you do have the the grip, which changes the profile slightly. But in the case, really in a deep pocket, you can't even tell it's there. So really like this firearm. So ammo, I have been shooting everything out of this. Military ball, golden sabers. I even shot some old black talons I had lying around through this, just to make sure it would cycle everything properly, and it really works well. It does have a polymer lower frame, and a metal slide. The metal slide does help take up some of that recoil, but it really is a well-made firearm. It does have a last round hold open, and it really, like I said, we fell in love with this. My wife loves it. I'm going to buy another one. So can't recommend the Ruger LC9 enough. Again, I like the 9mm. This is a 9mm golden saber round right here, and this will get the job done for self-defense. I hear a lot of people saying anything under a 40 isn't enough. I don't know. Look at the military history of the 9mm round. It got the job done for a long time. You be the judge of that on your own. We're going to have some shooting comparisons coming up, but you can look on a ton of other websites online. Iraqi Veteran 8888 really has some great videos, and the difference between a 9 and a 40 to me is minimal. And if you have a child shooting or a lighter person, someone with a little bit of arthritis, bad hands in general, not to be sexist, but a small frame woman, the 9mm is a great lower recoil option to the 40. That 40 can be harsh in these short-barreled guns, where the 9 is just a tad smoother. So again, recommend the 9mm and recommend the LC9. If you're looking at an LCP, because they are a little smaller, really take a good hard look at the LC9 and think about how you're going to carry it. It's not that much bigger, it's not that much heavier, but in my opinion, the 9mm compared to the 380 for stop and power, I'll take a 9mm any day. Now granted, having said that, what's the best weapon for defense is the one you have in your pocket. So if you have a 9mm, if you have a 22, my mother has severe arthritis. We were talking defensive handguns for her, went out and shot a bunch, and a 22 just worked for her because of her arthritis. She can get that follow-up shot. If you can put 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds center mass, it sure beats one 9mm, 140, 145 round that you're winging them with. I'd rather take them out with the first couple. So, if like I said, if you're looking for that pocket gun and you haven't made up your mind, put a serious thought into the LC9 or any of the Ruger family, or for that matter, I released a video on the Makarov last week, and you cannot go wrong with a Makarov if you don't mind the weight. Again, weight is a factor. This handgun is really a lightweight gun, and it's a little harsher on the recoil than the Makarov, but it is a great carry gun. So thanks again for checking out our video. Please check us on Facebook, poormansurvival.com. We also have Twitter and Google Plus for any of you who use that. So thank you again, and we'll be back shortly with more videos.